Islam simply means that it comes from an Arabic word which means to submit. You submit to the will of God. So you really live for God. You live for Allah.
There is no concept of personal and secular in Islam. Everything we do is religion. The concept of secular does not even exist in Islam. Islam is a practical religion in the sense that everything that we do is a form of worship towards God, is a form of response, our response to God.
From my background, I advise anyone he is suffering from any problem, whichever the kind of this problem, if he wants to be happy in his life, just go back and read some Quran, understand the Quran. In the Quran, he can find the right solution, the right medicine for his disease.
Muslims refer to the time before Islam came to Arabia as El Jahiliyyah, the days of ignorance. Arabic society was divided along strict clan and tribal lines, and constant feuding and warfare were common. Worship of many gods and idols was customary. Into such a society, morally bankrupt and seething with violence, Muhammad, the great prophet of Islam, was born in 571 CE. As a young boy, Muhammad worked for his uncle as a shepherd, and as he got older, he worked as a merchant and traveled to some of the cities of the Middle East. His reputation as a man of honor and integrity was established in his business dealings. Muhammad came to be employed by Khadija, a wealthy widow who had a substantial trading business. On her behalf, Muhammad traveled extensively and was exposed to Judaism and Christianity, as well as to the high civilization of parts of the Byzantine Roman Empire. Muhammad's character must have deeply impressed Khadija. When she was 40 and Muhammad 25, they were married, and Khadija became his strongest supporter and first convert. In 610 CE, in the month of Ramadan, an event occurred which changed Muhammad's life and altered the direction of human history. While at prayer one night in the cave at Hira, Muhammad received his call to be the prophet of Allah and began a remarkable process of sustained revelation which resulted in the Koran. Despite his fears and misgivings, Muhammad, like the great prophets before him, accepted the call and gave his life to the service of Allah. Over the years, the revelation of the Quran to Muhammad would continue, and his work preaching to the people of Mecca would severely test his faith and his courage. Neither proved to be lacking. Muhammad declared himself to be the prophet of Allah, the last of a series of prophets going back to Adam, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and ending with Muhammad, the greatest of the prophets, and the recipient of the Quran, the perfect and final revelation of God to humanity. The powerful and wealthy of Mecca were threatened by the monotheistic message of Muhammad. His insistence on the existence of a single supreme God jeopardized their profitable business in shrines and idols. Further, the moral and social teachings of Muhammad required them to change their decadent habits and acknowledge their responsibility to assist the poor. Hostility toward Muhammad and his followers soon became outright persecution. Despite this persecution, Muhammad's fervor and the clarity of his message continued to attract followers. Gradually, over the years, he developed followers in various parts of Arabia. In 622 CE, at the height of the persecution, a delegation from Yathrib, a city about 325 kilometers north of Mecca, with an established Muslim community, petitioned Muhammad. Yathrib was torn by internal rivalries and violence, and needed a strong leader who would govern with justice and wisdom. Muhammad accepted the invitation, and together with his followers, fled from Mecca. Yathrib became known as Medinat un-Nabi, the city of the prophet, contracted to Medina. Over the next 8 years, Medina won a series of battles which resulted in the capture of Mecca in 630 CE. Muhammad returned to Mecca, destroyed its idols and statues, and rededicated its central shrine, the Kaaba, to Allah. By the time of his death 2 years later, Muhammad was the spiritual and political leader of virtually all of Arabia. He had united the divided tribes under the banner of Islam and transformed their society to the service of Allah. The next century witnessed a dramatic expansion of Islam, west across North Africa and into Spain, and east into Syria, Persia, and India. In 638 CE, Islam arrived at the gates of Jerusalem.